A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. The U.S. Coast Guard is under fire for allegedly altering its classification of hate symbols, leading to significant public outcry and political backlash. According to reports, the Coast Guard will no longer categorize symbols such as swastikas, nooses, and the Confederate flag as hate symbols, but instead label them as potentially divisive. This shift has provoked outrage from various quarters, including lawmakers and veterans, who argue that it undermines the seriousness of these symbols and their historical context. The controversy erupted after the Washington Post obtained guidelines suggesting that the Coast Guard would no longer consider these symbols as hate incidents, a move that has been vehemently denied by the Coast Guard leadership. Admiral Kevin Lunde, the acting commandant of the Coast Guard, stated that claims of a policy change are categorically false, emphasizing that these symbols remain prohibited and any display will be thoroughly investigated and punished. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the Coast Guard, echoed these sentiments, labeling reports of a policy change as fake news. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin called the claims ludicrous, reinforcing the Coast Guard's commitment to maintaining a zero-tolerance policy towards hate symbols. However, the reported changes have sparked a fierce debate about the implications of such a shift, particularly in the context of rising anti-Semitism and racial tensions across the United States. Lena Mies de Tricht, a Jewish veteran of the Coast Guard and Navy, expressed her disgust at the potential policy change, arguing that it is not only offensive, but could also harm unit cohesion and morale within the service. Democratic leaders have also voiced their concerns, with Representative Pramila Jayapal stating that swastikas are symbols of violent anti-Semitism and should never be tolerated, particularly within the military. Representative Morgan McGarvey echoed similar sentiments, asserting that there should be no debate over the classification of such hate symbols. The timing of this controversy is particularly notable, as it follows a broader trend of cultural shifts within the military under the Trump administration. Critics argue that these changes reflect an ongoing culture war against perceived wokeness in the military, which has seen leaders like Admiral Linda Fagan removed for prioritizing diversity and inclusion efforts. The Coast Guard's new guidelines, which are set to take effect on December 15th, have been met with skepticism and alarm. According to the new rules, complaints involving swastikas and nooses will only be addressed if a specific victim comes forward, and they will be treated as harassment cases rather than hate incidents. This has raised concerns about the potential for these symbols to be displayed without consequence, further exacerbating issues of bigotry within the ranks. Senator Jackie Rosen criticized the updated policy as a dangerous rollback of protections against hate, warning that it sends the wrong message to Coast Guard personnel and puts their safety at risk. The implications of this policy shift are far-reaching, as it could impact not only the culture within the Coast Guard, but also the broader military community. As the debate continues, the Coast Guard's leadership remains firm in its stance, reiterating that there has been no change in its policy regarding hate symbols. However, the backlash from lawmakers, veterans, and the public suggests that this issue will not be easily resolved and may require further scrutiny and discussion in the coming weeks. The Coast Guard's commitment to maintaining a culture of respect and inclusivity will be put to the test as it navigates this contentious issue. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.